said, guys, it's 12:02 by my clock, and I'm very, very thankful and very excited to be able to introduce to some and present to others someone who I have the utmost respect for. This is someone who I've known and followed. You guys have heard me tell my story many times that as a young person in business, I was fortunate to stumble along the trainings of this gentleman, and it literally opened my mind up to something that I had never experienced in the past, and it changed the course of my business life. It totally, it changed everything. And we're fortunate enough 10, 15 years later to be able to still be sitting and partnered with him in this program that we're doing right now. And he's been a mentor to me, and he's been a mentor to many, many others. And he's going to pour into our hearts and minds on this afternoon. And that's none other than Mr. Greg Baldwin.
Hey, thank you so much for that wonderful. You guys can still hear me, right? Okay. Every Saturday is almost like Christmas to me, because it's almost like waking up to the family reunion that we have, the locker room talk, we call it. And to all of the new global community members, want to welcome you to the locker room talk. And this is where we get down to the nitty gritty. But before I go into that, I want to give it back to Nicole Jackson, someone that's a bona fide superstar, living a rock star lifestyle. You guys just don't know it. She doesn't talk a whole lot about it, but trust me, she's living that way because of the information that we're sharing with each and every one of you. So this is not just theoretical. There are actually people out here living by the information that we share on these locker room talks. And she happens to be one of those individuals, and she's a pillar in our community. So thank you for all that you do. And just so flat out excited. Once again, I want to welcome all the newest members to our global community. You're in the right place. And we get down to the nitty gritty in these locker room talks. We like it to be very, very informal. I know some of you, depending on what part of the world you're chiming in from, you're just getting the crust out of your eyes, having your morning cup of coffee, whatever the case may be. It's very, very informal, but yet it's still very, very serious. And so you want to take out pen and paper, jot down some notes, because it's not about what you're going to do with it, but it's about teaching others as well moving forward in this particular process here. So excited to have each and every one of you here today. And I want to go over a couple business items before we jump into today's training. One of the things I want you guys to know is that we are going to be working in the back office, putting in tools, in the co-op tools in the back office. This is forthcoming here within the next week to 10 days, how to purchase tokens, how to assign tokens, how to do member-to-member transfers. We're even going to be putting in like a crypto.com video tutorial for those of you that have access to crypto.com. You don't have an external wallet. We're going to be putting some of those in there. Coinbase video tutorial as well. We're going to have some altcoin tutorials. So we're going to be putting in all of the tools back there so that each and every one of you, and they're going to be very short and sweet and to the point. They're not going to be daunting, so that you guys can take more responsibility and more control over your project and your crowdfunding endeavors and not wait on anyone to get the job done. So we're flat out excited about that as well. And the other thing I want to talk to you guys about is that we're going to jump into today's training. And one of the things I want to share with each and every one of you is that we had an email that was going out. And here's what I want you guys to understand. I talked to David Rosen, and the bottom line is this: we want to stay compliant all across the globe. And so in some countries, especially here in the United States, I know in South Africa, different countries around the world, you're not able to just put in people's email information and then blast them emails without them opting in or their permission. Okay. So this is a blessing in disguise. So what we're actually going to do is the process is going to remain the same, but we're doing some tweaks to it. And I'm going to be breaking this down for you guys here momentarily. So I want you guys to know that at this moment in time, you still put in people's full name and email address. And when you click that invite button, an email is not being sent out so that we can make sure we're compliant and above board to make sure we're here long term. But I'm going to share with you guys exactly what you need to do instead of that in order to make this thing happen for each and every one of you. Okay, so I wanted to just share that with you here real quickly. But we're going to go ahead and jump right into the training. And I'm going to be talking to you guys, as always, from my head and heart to yours. You guys had seen the email that we did construct And in the email, these were words that myself and some other leaders, we came together and we put together because it's so true. And I want you guys to really understand what we have our hands on. The reason why I planted my staff here, and like many of you, you can go ahead and do any other projects out here. There's a lot of other opportunities and platforms out here, but you're here for a reason. And I'm assuming that you're here because you see exactly what it is that I see. And if you don't, my hope and goal today is to help you get the vision, all right, intrinsically about what we have our hands on. And when I tell you guys that we have the greatest project on the planet for the masses, bar none, I mean that so sincerely. And it's coming from evaluated experience. It's not about being biased or anything like that. I don't have to blow smoke you guys' way. I mean, we live in a day and time in this world where people want something that's real, right? Maybe some of you have been involved in pump and dumps, or maybe you guys have been involved in other opportunities and you just didn't have the kind of success that you thought you were signing up for. Well, now is the time to get laser beam focused and put your blinders on when it comes to Co-op Crowd, because you're not going to find anything better. And if you do, I challenge you to bring me something better, and we can do an apples to apples comparison for the masses, and I will win 100% of the time because of what Co-op Crowd has in store for each and every one of us. And I mean that wholeheartedly. So I'm going to break this thing down for you, because when you look at this system, okay, it was founded by a gentleman who was homeless, all right? And he created these systems out of need and not out of greed. And because of the systems that he had built, he went from being homeless to a multi-millionaire. And now keep in mind, those systems over the years has evolved. And now we're at a point in time where the system is damn near perfect. All right, so it's been 20 years in the making. And we talk about that in the email. And I want to share this with you. It was designed to eradicate global poverty and wealth inequality. I want you guys to understand what we're doing here. It's not just about me. It's not just about you. It's about this entire planet. There's so much disparity and inequality when it comes to money. And so this system that's been 20 years in the making was designed purposely to eradicate global poverty and wealth inequality. And so what we're doing with this system is that we're showing people and the rest of the world that when you're able to take the power of relationships, okay, and the power of the internet, and you harness it effectively, all right, you direct it and you manage it, you can create wealth beyond our self-limiting beliefs. So when you listen to those words, I'm going to break this thing down for you. We've effectively harnessed, directed, and managed relationships and the internet in a way that will create wealth for all of us on this line and anyone that's yet to hear about this beyond our self-limiting beliefs. So when you talk about harness, what we were able to do, harnessing is that we're able to take it and put it in a 3x10 force matrix, okay? So that's harnessing it, all right? It's not about controlling it or anything or manipulating. It's just about really harnessing. And when you look at the definition of harness, it's to control and make use of natural resources, especially to produce energy. So when we're harnessing this and putting it in a 3x10 matrix, it's going to enable each and every one of us to basically take this energy and produce it in an exponential way. The other word, directed. We're talking about this give it forward strategy that we put in place, because what was missing was the fact that we had this great opportunity, but we didn't have a process for the average person to say psychologically, you know what, I can do this. And more importantly, I want to do this. So we put in place this whole process I'm going to be breaking down for each and every one of you, where we're simply giving our way to wealth in a time where this world needs that more than ever before. We have so much divide and conquer going on, so much mistrust that I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole that's trying to be injected into our psyche, that we don't trust each other. We got to be 6 feet away from each other. You know, all of these different isms that's been done by design to keep us from doing what we need to do. And that's creating community more than ever before. I mean, I'm not going to even go into this whole metaverse stuff. That's a whole different conversation there. But what I'm telling you guys is to be able to direct this through a giving it forward strategy. One time out of pocket. Think about this for a moment. I want you guys to marinate on the simplicity of this. One time out of pocket, $100. All right. And that's with some small fees in order to purchase 3 tokens that you house in your back office. And then you contact your closest friends and family members and share with them that you found a strategy, a legitimate way for them to raise as much money as they need to ultimately become debt-free, stress-free, and financially free. Now, I'm not allowed to say guaranteed, but doggone it, I really want to say it. But for legal purposes, I can't. But through mathematical certainty, giving it away to 3 people who are willing to do the exact same thing. Give it away to 3 people. When you do that, when you identify your 3 people to give it away, and then they in turn identify their 3 people to give it away, guess what? You are done. You've done your deed, okay? You paid your debt to society. That's all we have to do. That's the building blocks of this. So when we talk about being directed, all right, that is how we direct this thing through our pay it forward, debt-free with 3 strategy. All right, managed, okay? That other word, we have a digital wallet that does all the sending and the receiving of our donations automatically, independent of our involvement. 1 donation helps 10 other people's causes. I want you guys to think about how powerful that is. So you don't need a whole bunch of different platforms that you have to do. This particular project right here, this is your financial plan. This is your way to create cash flow and liquidity to raise funds for whatever it is that you need. You don't need a middle person to do that for you. We have it right here with Co-op Crowd. And I want you guys to really begin to understand that so that you can develop the skill set that when you sit down with your family member or friend and you have a real conversation. And I was talking to some leaders just the other day, and Steve Carter did a training about when was the last time you set a goal and you hit it, right? Well, I want you guys to think about that. All right. When was the last time you set a goal and hit it? And for a lot of you, it was a shock. Like, well, damn, when was the last time I actually set a goal? I've set goals many times, but the operative part of it is and hit it. Okay. We have New Year's coming around the corner. Guess what everyone's going to do? I want to lose weight. I want to make more money, right? So that's the goal everyone sets every year. But the question is, did they hit it? Most people don't, right? So finally, we have something that is hittable. 3 people. That's a very hittable goal to give a token away to 3 different people. But the point that I was trying to say also is, when's the last time you sat down with 3 or a handful of your closest friends and had a real major league conversation or a plan of action that can improve the quality of all of your lives? I'm not talking about having a minor league conversation about, Real Housewives, Basketball Wives, or this television show, or this politic, or this or that, things that have absolutely nothing to do with elevating the quality of our life. When was the last time you've actually had a real conversation? And I'm charging each and every one of you today, after this call, and you take people through the process, you want to have a real conversation with your closest friends and family members and say, hey, listen, I've got a plan. And I want you to bring your plan to the table because I have something I believe in my heart can change our lives in the next 84 days and is so doggone doable. That's what I love about this deal here. You don't have to be the greatest marketing genius. You just have to tell the truth. That's it. 3 people, give them a token. You become a receiver by becoming a giver, and they do the exact same thing. And so that domino effect of giving, there's a boomerang effect that comes back of receiving that is tenfold as a consequence of that simple activity and kindness act of giving to 3 people. People, I'm just jacked out of my mind about this. So let's go ahead and talk about this real quick. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go ahead and break this thing down for each and every one of you. Let me go ahead and move this. Okay. And we're off. All right. So we got taking the debt-free with 3 challenge today, based on our conversation here in the locker room talk. All right. Talking about this process that we're going through. And then once you take people through the process, if for whatever reason your closest friends don't accept the challenge, that's when I want to suggest to each and every one of you, without pressure or sales, but it's time to have real conversations. All right. We live in a day and time where we got to get real now. All right. We can't just throw stuff at a wall and hope something sticks. We need something that we can see on paper, that all is required is an execution. All right. That we all can do to become debt-free, stress-free, and financially free, and to raise all the money that we need for whatever reason we need it for. So here we go. Please take notes. All right. It's one thing you can take a picture as well, but write it down. I want to share a quote with you that's so powerful and why it's so important to take notes. It says, all knowledge which ends in words will die as quickly as it comes to life, with the exception of the written word, which its It's its mechanical part. In other words, when you write something down, it comes to life. All right. So you can hear something just like when you meet a person for the very first time and they tell you their name. How quickly do you forget their name? I want you guys to think about that. So it's so important to write this thing down because it's mechanical. You start bringing it to life when you write these things down. So you see here the standard, all right, to complete the debt-free with 3 challenge in 24 hours. The goal is to identify at least 3 people minimum. The standard that we want to create is to doing it within 24 hours throughout our culture. How quickly do you want to become debt-free? How quickly do you want to raise money for that great business idea? How quickly do you want to pay off that debt? How quickly do you want to fire your boss? Okay. How quickly do you want to do that? All right. In a perfect world scenario, based on our chart, you can actually do that within 10 to 11 days, literally. But we're saying 84 days. So here are the steps here. All right. So step number 1, everyone's going to purchase at least 3 $25 tokens. That's about $100, give or take a few dollars because of small fees, to give to 3 people, right? Step number 2, you're going to enter 3 friends' name, email address, and click invite from your dashboard. Now, when you do that, David's turned it off where the email does not go out. I need you guys to understand that the email is not going out because we want to be compliant. We don't want people coming back to us, suing us for doing anything unlawful. So it's very, very important. But what will happen is that automatically a residual donation system will be created for those 3 friends. All right. So step number 3 is this. You're going to call those friends and you're going to invite them to take the challenge. You can call them up, and I don't have a script for anyone because I don't really think you necessarily need a script to have a real conversation with your friends. Everyone's relationships are differently. How you interact and communicate is differently. So, just keep it real and honest with them. If you can call someone up and say, hey, have you ever heard of the bucket challenge, weight loss challenges? Well, I've just been challenged to take a debt-free challenge and I'm jacked out of my mind about it, because it can be done in 84 days. And all that's required for me is to find 3 friends that want to take the challenge with me to be debt-free in the next 84 days. And I'm challenging you to do the exact same thing, John. Now, John accepts the challenge, says, hey, what's it all about? What you're going to simply do is you're going to simply text them their login information. Here is what it's going to look like. I want you guys to save this in your phone. In fact, pull your phones out right now and put this in your phone and save it, because this is what you're going to do. So the text reads, I already set you up, and below are your login details to either accept or decline the challenge. Watch the 3-minute video upon logging in. Now their site is going to be there. Everyone's site is going to be the coopcrowd.com/login, because you want them to go directly to the login portion. The username is going to always be their email address. So you want to ask them, what's your email address? Or you should already have had the email address if you already put them in the back office dashboard anyway. All right. But you may want to make sure that's their email address. And then the password for the free account is always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just that simple. So when you call your friends, all you're going to do is, once they say, well, tell me more about it, you're going to say, I'm going to text you the information right now. I've already set you up. I want you to simply watch a 3-minute video. You're on the phone with them. You're going to go ahead and send that to them and make sure they got it. Make sure they got the actual text. You're going to simply ask them, when do you have 3 to 5 minutes to look at this? And it only takes 3 to 5 minutes to say yay or nay. Get that commitment from them. And then whatever they say, well, I'm going to look at it right now. Well, great. I'll call you back in 5 minutes, or text me, accept, or whatever. Follow up with them. All right. Everyone's questions may be different at the end of this process right here. But the video, I'm working on the video right now. I want to put this caveat in there. I'm working on the video right now to be congruent with it being about the sending out the text. So we have the current video back there that talks about the email automatically go out. But we're now working on it. Should be done by the end of this weekend, hopefully by Monday, where the video is going to speak to the fact of everyone sending out a text message to be congruent with what I'm sharing with each and every one of you today. Okay. So let the system, 20 years in the making, do all the heavy lifting for you, because we want to put a process in whereby you're not the one having to explain everything. We wanted the video to do the major lifting of the explanation for you so that you don't have to do that, because let's face it, some of you may not feel comfortable in explaining things. So we want the system to do that for you. And I think we've done a good job of doing that. All right. So number 4, when your friend accepts, you're going to simply assign one of the 3 tokens to their donor key. And I'm going to show you guys this process in a dummy account here momentarily, but keep in mind, like I said at the top, we're going to have individual videos that's going to show you how to purchase a token, how to assign a token, how to open up an external wallet. We're going to have all of that back there for each and every one of you to perfect this system here. And then number 5, and most importantly, have fun. This is the funnest thing in the world to do, because we're not selling any products or services, okay, like we may have done in other incarnations. And I'm not knocking those industries. I cut my teeth in the network marketing industry, did quite well in that industry. But the thing that really was a crux in my heart was the fact that, yeah, I was able to win, but the vast majority of my team was not able to win. And we found Co-op, we saw where people from all over the world were winning in a way that they've never done before in history, because the way in which the donations were parlayed to each and every one of us. So have fun with this deal. All right. Don't allow people to dampen your parade whatsoever. I'm going to share another quote with you that was pretty funny. And this is not to insult anybody, but, you know, take it for what it's worth. It says, never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. That was Mark Twain. So I'm not calling anyone specifically stupid, but if you can't see this, the simplicity of this, then I think you're defending your right to stay broke, and you've earned your right to stay broke, because this is the simplest thing I've ever seen on planet Earth for the masses. So let me go ahead and do this real quickly. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to get into that back office here. All right. So here we go. We're in the back office, right? So once you send a person that text message and they log in, you're directing them to watch this 3-minute video right here. It's 3 minutes and 12 to 13 seconds. It does an outstanding job of telling you what it is, testimonials, what they need to do. It's very, very directive. It even tells them to go down here and put in the 3 names and email addresses of 3 people and click invite. And so the process is wash, rinse, and repeat. Okay. Now, here's the beautiful thing about this. When you follow up with them, all right, you're going to ask them, you know, what did they like most about it? Right? What did you like most about it? Not what, you know, what did you think about it? What did you like most about it? Have them tell you. Then you're going to ask them and make sure, did you happen to just try it? Did you put in 3 people's name and email addresses to see how this actually works? If they didn't, have them do it. Just help them see. This is a show and tell. We're not having any slides anymore relative to even doing presentations. We're doing literal show and tell. So what you're going to do at that moment in time, have them actually do it. So I'm going to show you how simple this thing is. That's why I know we're going to win. Have them put in the names and then click invite at the bottom, right? So once they click invite, then have them go up to the top. And because remember, their account's going to say zeros all the way across the board prior to them putting in the names and email addresses. But now you're going to show them the potential donations. You see here, potential donations. You're going to show them that potentially those 3 people, if they accept the challenge, it's going to turn your giving into receiving. And this is what you're going to receive residually. It comes to life for them at that moment in time. Anyone can do it. It is simple show and tell. All right. So here's the deal. Let's talk about how you go ahead and you purchase tokens. All right. Now, ultimately, you're going to have some people that may not have an external wallet. You know, many people won't have an external wallet, but that's not going to slow you down. Leaders are out here to help you as well. We have some people that have outstanding balances in their Co-op wallet already. I know I have some on reserve for the team that I'm building if they don't have it. So at that moment in time, if someone doesn't have an external wallet, what you want to do is have them Cash App you, Zelle, whatever the case may be, direct deposit, whatever the case may be, $100 to you. And then you're going to simply purchase the tokens for them, or member to member transfer money to their account so they can go ahead and get their 3 tokens housed to pay it for someone else as well. All right. So let's talk about this real quickly, how you purchase tokens. So you go to Co-op Tokens, and remind you, this is a dummy account, so it's not going to be in Technicolor like it would be if it was live. So there's going to be some steps missing. So step number one, you go to Co-op Tokens and you purchase, press buy tokens. When you get here, all right, you're going to have Co-op 25, Co-op 250, then the best option. This is for people that want to be in both matrices at the same time. But remember, we're keeping it very, very simple. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and purchase the 28-day one. Let me see if I can go on there. For some reason, or the 84-day, I'm sorry, the 84-day one, because you want to get 3 up front. It's not one at a time. This is a new account. So 3 up front. All right. So that's the price in the cryptocurrency space if it's USD. So let me show you guys how this looks. If they're going to purchase through cryptocurrency, this is what the invoice looks like. And this is in Tether. But we accept over 100 different cryptocurrencies, right? So depending on which one you have, you go ahead and you can choose it. So let's say Ethereum. Now, Ethereum gas fee is a little bit high, so you're going to see that price is going to go up. So that's $123.51. But the bottom line is you can actually use an external wallet and purchase those 3 tokens that way. Or you see here, it says insufficient digital wallet balance. What you want to do for those of us that have enough in our wallet, people can send you their $100 and then you can go ahead and purchase the tokens or assign the tokens for them on their behalf to keep it moving very, very quickly. All right. So your tokens would be housed under my tokens. All right. So I don't have any tokens. This is a dummy account, but it would be housed under here. All right. Any of the tokens that you've purchased. And then when you want to assign the token, it's under transfer token. So what you simply want to do is you assign it to their donor key. That's what you want to do. So I'll show you guys this real quickly as I go to, let's say, cooperative team. All right. So let's go to personal teams. So under free, under personal teams, you'll see the people that, let's say, you put in there to challenge them. Right here is their donor key. So you guys see Greg Test 2 here. I'm going to just simply copy. And then I'm going to go over here to my co-op tokens to transfer and assign. And I'm going to put that donor key in. And you see the name pops up here. Always make sure that the name pops up so that you're sending the token to the correct person. The type of token is going to be the 25. I don't have any tokens housed in this dummy account as of yet. And then obviously it's going to be just one token, and then you assign. You click assign. Instantaneously, once you assign that token, it activates that new person's account. They're in business at that moment in time, and they're going to do the exact same thing. Now, here's what happens. Once that's activated, every day the donations will show up in underneath your co-op wallet in your wallet transactions, not only for you as the giver, but remember, 9 other people are going to have a deposit into their co-op wallet based on that one person accepting the challenge and you paying it forward to them. See how powerful that is? So when we talk about being managed and directed, that's what this system does for each and every one of us here. All right. So let me go back here, make sure I got everything cleared up here. So the system, the process is very, very simple for each and every one of us. So step number 1, you're going to go ahead and put people's names down here, right? Now, let's just say you put in the first 3 people's names and only 1 out of the 3 accept the challenge. No worries. Put in 2 more names in there and have them go through the process. And let's say 1 more out of the 2 accepts the challenge. So no worries. Put in another name. But here's the deal. You're going to ultimately invite more than 3 people. It's just going to be human nature. You're going to be compelled to do so. You're going to want to talk to more people about this because this is such life-giving stuff here that you're going to invite to this challenge right here. And then you're going to text them their credentials. Once you do that, call them up, text them the credentials. They're going to be directed to watch this short 3-minute video. I think this video is extremely powerful. It's been vetted from a psychological standpoint. The voice of the person that's doing it, he happens to be a good friend of mine. It's very, very warm. It's not salesy. It's real and authentic. And it's short and sweet because guess what? Everyone has 3 to 5 minutes to make a decision whether they want to do something or not, rather than waiting for people to come to a 30-minute overview, live overview, even though we're going to continue to have those. it puts the power directly into your hands to move as quickly as you want to move with this particular challenge right here. Okay, so we're over the moon excited about that here. All right, so let me go ahead and go back to the slides here. Okay, so these are the steps. Once again, purchase 3 $25 tokens, enter 3 friends' name, email address, click invite from your dashboard, call the friends, invite them to take the challenge, and simply text them this right here. All right, make sure you have in there, watch the 3-minute video upon logging in. All right, you're going to call them back, find out when they're going to actually watch it, take 3 to 5 minutes to watch it or whatever the case may be. And you're going to follow up, ask them, what did they like most? And then if anything, you're going to simply show them, okay, what would happen once they put those 3 names in. If they haven't, show them where it's 0 right now. But the moment they do that, it shows the potential donations if the people accept the challenge and it becomes real for them. With that being said, hold on, let me show you guys this. I apologize for this. I want to show you guys how powerful this is though too. So the other thing is, once you show them the potential donations, this thumbnail pops back up again in the video. If you so choose, you can show them how they see $26.25 up there. Come down to the chart and show them it's $26, right? It shows you that these are real numbers. It's mathematical certainty. We just rounded the numbers off to whole numbers just to keep it simple. And then you show them, look at these generations 1 through 10. Let's look at those as days or 24-hour days, team. So let's say in day 1, you help 3 people accept the challenge. That's $26 residually coming to you already every 28 days. Day number 2, those 3 ended up identifying 3 people to accept the challenge. So in day number 2, you have 12 active donors total. Those 3 are going to receive the $26 residually, turning them givers into receivers. But your residual donation just increased to $38 in 24 hours. And through perfect duplication, day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way down to 10, 11, you're talking about being at close to $1 million in residual donations to mathematical certainty by giving our way to wealth. So the domino effect of sharing it with 3, there's a boomerang effect of getting close to $1 million or more in residual donations. Do you think that we can change a lot of people's lives with that? I think we all can agree that we can do that, right? So I want to show that with you guys in terms of how you can use this system. So let me go back here to the slide here. All right. So when your friend accepts, assign 1 of the 3 tokens to their donor key and have fun. So here's what happens when a person accepts the debt-free with 3 challenge. Number 1, the inviter will activate their $25 cooperative. All right, very, very simple. Number 2, the inviter's giving also becomes their receiving towards their own cause as well. And then number 3, because of 1 person accepting the challenge, 9 other people automatically receive residual donations towards their cause. People, this is real community. It really does take teamwork to make the dream work, as they like to say. A rising tide raises all ships. And so when I tell you guys that we have the perfect system, we really do. We've streamlined the process for each and every one of you to become flat out successful. Now it's a matter of assigning those tokens. So I know a lot of you have gotten the 3 tokens. Now it's about matter of getting busy assigning those tokens to 3 people and teaching them to do the exact same thing, so that once we get the testimonials flying, it becomes self-evident, it becomes undeniable. And we're in the season of Thanksgiving right now. I believe we're going to roll into 2022 with our hair on fire. People that are really looking for a way to make more money, lose weight, whatever the case may be. This is going to be the project that gets the job done as far as I'm concerned. So if you guys don't mind in the chat, as I stop my screen share here, put in the chat, you know, whether you accept the challenge. Are you guys ready to rock and roll with this? Say, I'm ready. Put that in the chat moving forward. And then what I like to do, I don't know if there's been any Q&As while I was doing this. Please let me know. That way we can go ahead. I love it. It's coming in. I'm ready. Awesome. You guys are incredible. Let's rock.
You know what, Greg? There was a question, actually. One of the leaders were taking screenshots of your slides and asked if you could go back to one of them.
Okay.
Can you go back to the part where you're talking about the approach and how you would respond?
Which one?
That was probably the
The-
most recent one. The
well,
most,
when
not
you
this
say the
group,
approach and how would you respond? I mean, respond to what?
not this group, but they're the most recent last couple of slides that you put up there.
I mean, these are the only slides that I put. There were no other slides except these. I
This
showed the back
this one,
office.
this one. Wait a minute. Okay, so here, how about this was the last slide, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's your opportunity to take a copy. All
Okay.
right, go to the one prior, please, Greg. All right. Here's your opportunity to make that copy. What's about the one prior? This one, okay?
That's the text message that you want to save.
All right, Selena, she got it. Okay, great. Thank you, Greg. Thanks so much.
No problem.
All right, and there were some victories also.
Okay, let's talk about that. What we got?
Okay, so one under Judy Broussard's leadership,
Okay.
she talked about Harold, who in her team who got 10 people already, has grown his group to 10. He got
Hold on. Have her, Judy, if you don't mind, raise your hand. You don't have to show yourself if you don't want, but love to have you as a panelist and just basically share the story. If you don't mind, raise your hand. We'll bring you up on here. And while she's doing that, if she so accepts that particular challenge, Jean Charles asked the question, I'm ready, but what about those of us who already bought the $84 co-op crowd? Those are already broken up. All right, David Rosen broke those tokens up into 3 $28 tokens, and you can use those tokens to assign it to whoever you want.
That was a good one because somebody else had that question about the $84 tokens that were housed in your back office. Yes, they're broken up, but if you purchase an $84 token and you came in at that on that $84 token, then that means that you will still be paid up for 84 days. Yours won't be, that one particular token will not be broken up. The ones that have been used already will not be broken up. But the ones that are housed in your back office, yep, they're individual 28-day tokens now.
Absolutely. So we're doing everything in our power to make it so simple and easy for all of us to win. I believe in my heart of hearts, the success stories that we're going to create with Co-op Crowd is going to be bigger than any platform that's ever been created in human history, whether it's network marketing, free enterprise, high ticket, daily investments, whatever the case may be. We're going to create so many more success stories. We have the incomparable Judy Broussard on here. If you don't mind, if you unmute yourself, Judy, please share with us your win and your victory. I think the team would like to hear from you if you don't mind.
Hi, Greg.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. No makeup on, so I'm not going to show my face.
No problem.
No, pretty exciting. I love this challenge. I love the simplicity of our system. It's a 3-step system, and you just can't get any easier than this. The price is right. 3 people, they get 3, and that's it. That's basically it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Harold, we talked, I guess Monday or Tuesday, I don't remember the day, but he got excited and invited Jermaine, and Jermaine got excited, and she's invited a couple people. So she has 2 also.
Mm-hmm.
And then he brought on Ronald, and Ronald has 3 people ready. They're not in yet, but we're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had one other person. Oh gosh, what's her name? Madeline, maybe, or I don't think that's right. But anyway, so I'm pretty excited about Harold. He's pumped. He's living in Mexico right now.
Okay.
And he's from the States, but he's from California, in fact. And he's going to do well. He said he understands it. He's ready to rock and roll.
Right.
And his team's ready to rock and roll. And we do have quite a few others that are. We have a Mrs. Smiley. She's 86 years old. And she sent probably 10 or 15 invitations, and we're following up on that. So, our team here is doing quite well, and
Absolutely.
We're excited and very grateful and appreciative to David. Your leadership, Greg, is phenomenal. Nicole, I want to be in that RV next to you,
Come
traveling
on.
behind you in the caravan across the country.
Yes.
So anyway, keep up the good work, and we're here. We support you. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And that's what it's really all
Awesome.
about. She had mentioned some people. I mean, we have people of all walks of life. It doesn't matter what your age is, your social, credit score, all that stuff. It doesn't matter. We created a process that's so simple. All right, that a 5-year-old can do it. And that I'm a process person. And so I'm gonna share this with you guys. Look, it was about maybe 3 weeks ago. I've shared this with a few leaders that I've learned over time that whenever I'm waking up by the creator, and this was like 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, that I've learned to get up and listen to that direction. When I was younger, I would just be like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And I just laid there until I fell back to sleep. But I've come to understand that that is when you're getting downloaded with divine information. And this was something that was boiled up in my spirit in terms of how we can create a process for people to win. I shared it with some other leaders, bona fide leaders. It resonated with them. So that's why I'm so passionate about what it is that we're doing. Didn't come from logic. This is a divine orchestration of seed time and harvest, to giving yourself to wealth, to helping others, turning givers into receivers. It's Mobius in nature. It is the perfect system that's been 20 years in the making. So Judy, thank you so much for all that you do. You keep rocking and rolling as well. Do we have anybody else out there that has a win that they want to
Yes, there
talk
are
about?
some good ones in here, but I want to also mention Paul Babs asked something that came up. I'm glad he asked again.
Mhm.
Can we talk about the process in terms of once someone accepts, getting them to buy their tokens prior to us sending them that token to activate them?
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get down with that. Absolutely. Because for some people, it's like, okay, you don't just want to necessarily just give tokens. So they can say, I accept. But we want skin in the game. Accepting is more than just lip service. It's like, if you really accept, you plan on doing it, right? You plan on giving it forward. So part of it, and talks about it in the video, that they're required to go ahead and take $100 and get 3 tokens to pay it forward themselves. So what you want to do when you follow up with them and they say, I accept, and text or whatever, say, congratulations, we are going to crush this thing. We're going to help so many people's lives. But you remember in the video, it talked about you having at least 3 tokens. So here's the deal. Do you have an external wallet? Many people may not have an external wallet, which is a shame. We need to get more people involved in the cryptocurrency space. So this is going to be a very simple way for people to get into the game of games that we talked about previously. And then you're going to work out how you want to receive your $100 before you go ahead and send them their token and activate their account. Here in the States, it's Cash App, it's Zelle, it's PayPal. Wherever you're at, wherever part of the world that you're at, you need to use that. Have that conversation. Make sure you receive that $100 so that you're not out of pocket. And then you're going to go ahead and purchase their tokens for them and send it to them. And that's the best way to go about doing it. I hope that was clear for each and every one of you. So it's just about working out the details with your friend or your family to make that happen. Okay. Okay.
Excellent, Greg. I think you did a great job explaining that. Paul says perfect. Thank you.
You got it, Paul. True leader out there. Anybody else? I mean, anyone else besides Judy?
Yes,
anyone has something?
Madrina typed in that she was so excited when she got her first person to accept. She almost forgot the next steps. Madrina, maybe we can bring Madrina up.
Okay, raise your hand, Madrina. We'll bring you on and let's talk about your excitement here. This is about having fun. This is locker room talk. We want to celebrate people's excitement and their victories. So is Madrina, there she is. Let's go ahead and bring her on. Okay, there she is. Hey, Madrina, how are you? Tell us about what you're so excited about and what happened.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm doing
fantastic.
Well.
Good.
This still morning here. It's a 11:45.
Okay.
In Illinois. Anyway, I've been busting, I've been grinding, And yesterday when I got actually 3, but I followed up with all 3 of them. And one came back and said, yes, 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 yes. and her email address has e-commerce or something like that, something about e-commerce. So I'm like, okay, awesome. And she said she accept, and she typed to me, what do I do next? I'm like, oh my God. Oh, just a minute. And then I called Moshanda,
Super
my
leader.
shining armor girl right there. And I'm like, oh my God, Moshanda, I don't know what to say to her. I forgot my step. And she called me down and she told me, I'm like, okay, yes, I got it. And I went back
Awesome.
and she said, I'm in, so I'm like, okay. I always feel great when I come on top, because I remember the very first time I started in the first locker room, and how I was kind of timid and my voice was shaking like no, but I'm shaking with excitement. But I was so nervous that time, and you gave me some advice and I moved with it, and I'm like, oh, Greg wouldn't know what he did just now. Motivation is something, when you uplift someone, you just bring them from down and bring them up. And
Absolutely.
I was like floating. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited.
Look at your smile. Look at your smile. That's what we want to see. Smiles galore. And I mean, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for staying the course. And you prove that the process works.
It works.
And so that's why today we put together. So like Madrina, I'm sure a lot of you out there is like, okay, what do I do next? It's almost like you're surprised that someone would accept something because it's so simple. And so now every one of us knows exactly what to do to get the job done. Anything else you want to add, Madrina?
Well, guys, just keep grinding.
Okay.
You see the system, it works. You don't have to do much. You don't even have to talk too much.
Right.
Just
Absolutely.
let the system do what it does.
Absolutely.
And I'm rolling with it.
All right. All right. We look forward to seeing some more of your success stories. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got it. We got anybody else out there? We got any more?
Such a great idea. It's so good to hear from team all over the country, all over the world. That are
anybody else has something that they put in the chat?
Anthony Bernard. Anthony Bernard is under the leadership of none other than Miss Maya Campbell. And he had a really good story too.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Where is that at? I'll let you go ahead.
Anthony, go ahead and raise your hand, dear. And he had a really good story. The first person he talked to accepted. And it was fabulous.
Right. And while I was doing that, Jean Charles said, I have a question. If I pay it forward for 3 people to activate their accounts, how each of my 3 people will get $84 paid forward to their 3 people, and so on and so forth. That's what we just covered in the training. I'm not sure when you came in. There will be a recording of this, and you can go ahead and see how that process works. Everything that I shared with each and every one of you is about everyone duplicating that exact same process. That's how we get the job done. And with that being said, if you don't have an external wallet, ladies and gentlemen, you want to make sure you get one cat quick so that you can help the cooperative, help other people reach their goals and dreams and raise as much funding as they need as well. Okay.
And Greg, I read the question, how will they get the $84? That will be their own $84 that they pull out of their pocket.
Exactly.
The system won't provide them with their $84 until after they put some skin in the game. And yes, Greg did just go over that. So that's hopefully, Jean, your question is answered.
Okay. All right. We have anything else out here? Boom, boom, boom.
George from Spain. All right.
What did George say?
His was something else.
Okay, no problem. All right, fantastic. Somebody said something about if it was about the emails or whatever the case may be. We've already addressed that. We did that earlier in the training, so we're on top of it. We want to be compliant. And we're changing it up. We talked about texting versus, and that's the other thing before we wrap things up, you guys. is that what David Rosen plans on doing is it's going to be the name, first and last name, email address, and he's working on being able to put phone numbers in there so that the system will automatically send the text out on our behalf as well. So that's coming over the next few weeks or so. But in the meantime, we have to do what we need to do to keep the party going. So we're doing everything in our power to make sure that every one of you win. Just execute the game plan, assign those tokens, have those major league conversations with your closest relationships so they understand that, hey, this is a plan that we can execute. We have all green lights. Okay. So I think that's it for today, that we have you guys fired up. I hope you guys are fired up. If you guys are fired up, let me know in the chat. Make sure you get people locked and loaded. Execute this system right here. We have a Q&A. Some of our team members are doing a Q&A here at the top of the hour as well. And let's go out and have a bang up week, you guys. Appreciate and love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together. All right. And as we end all of our trainings and presentations, we're not just going to see you at the top. We're going to see each and every one of you over the top. Let's rock, you guys. Take care, everybody.
All right. Thank you so much. It was such an amazing